Hi guys, welcome back. So we've got a reconfigured England squad. It's not the final England squad for these autumn series of matches because there's guys from Bristol, guys from Exeter, guys from Wasps still not included. There's guys from Bath reconditioning, i.e. they're not ready to play yet because they're a bit too battered and bruised, carrying a few injuries. But we do have a list of players that we can pick from for the Barbarians game, which we will do. And it's a very strange game in a way because it's the warm-up to the Italy game, which is how England might win the Six Nations, so it's a big game in that respect. But they're definitely going to have to try some youngsters because of a few players they have to pick from. Plus, you might as well try a few in a Barbarians game anyway. But first of all, notable omissions. Obviously, Ben Spencer, not in the squad. Do I have a theory as to why he's not in the squad? This time, no, I've got absolutely nothing. There's nothing about his game that says he shouldn't be in the squad. In fact, everything about his game says he's the best scrum half in England at the moment. His running game is supreme. Physically, he's strong as an ox. His kicking's great. His passing's great. In the past, you might have said maybe he's a bit quiet, but he has been bossing this Bath team like nobody else. He is so ready. He's 28. Everything is spot on. Apparently Eddie Jones has called him to explain why not. I'd love to know what it is. If you know, comment below because I am absolutely lost for words about this one. But I'm going to leave it because it just gets me a bit too annoyed. Anyway, who else isn't in this one? Well, I would mention two other Bath guys. Joe Thokanasiga, you might think would be needed for the power in the English backline. But if you watched him in the Premiership semi-final, he isn't match fit at all. Maybe his knee's not quite right. Maybe it's just fitness. I don't know. But he needs a fair bit more time. So I think that's fair. The other guy who I would have brought in for sure is Cameron Redpath. Firstly, England are very short on inside centres. Their number one inside centre, Owen Farrell, is a 10 anyway. And who else is there queuing up to play 12? Virtually nobody. Cameron Redpath, yes, he's very young, but physically he's matured, he's got all the skills. I think he could be an awesome ball playing 12, and he's not in. So that's one I would question mark, and obviously Ben Spencer is a bit crazy. But anyway, I'll move on from that. So let's have a look at the squad. We'll talk through a few players and pick a team as we go. First of all, Tom Curry back in, playing really well. Hopefully nice and he rested now. He'll start at 7 for me, definitely. Alex Dombrandt's in. Now, is he going to go in straight ahead of Billy Vunipola? I don't think so. So he's on the bench for sure. Here's the thing. England have Charlie Ewels reconditioning. I don't really want to touch those guys that are reconditioning because basically if they're not training, it means they're not ready yet. And why force them? Dombrandt could cover second row. He has played second row before, I know that. You could potentially have Ted Hill cover second row. In fact, I'd have Dombrandt and Ted Hill on the bench because I think we need to see both of them. They're both incredibly impressive and fantastic potential. Does leave you a little bit light on second row, especially if you want to maybe take a Toji off towards the end to rest him for the next week. Anyway, that would be my cover for second row. Dombrandt and Ted Hill on the bench covering back row and second row. Tom Dunn gets his chance to have a go at shot at number 2. You know, when Cowan Dickey comes back in, surely he's straight back in. But Tom Dunn's been playing well. He can put it about. Here's his chance. He's on the bench covering hooker. Ellis Genge, I think, is going to be your starting loose head. Been playing well, but struggling in the Leicester pack, of course. But here's his chance to cut loose with Jamie George obviously starting at 2 in great form. I think Joe Hayes gets a chance on the bench, cover that tight head. Big step up for the young man, but what an opportunity. Itoje obviously starts at second row. I'd partner Itoje up with Ribbons, being the only 2 second rows in that squad anyway. Plus, I think Ribbons has got fantastic ability. Love to see him alongside Itoje. Kerrod gets his shot from Harlequins. South African born, but super strong. English qualified obviously now. Very strong in the scrum. Physically very strong. Has he got the skills for international stage? Well, we'll find out. But certainly, big scrummaging tight heads are absolute gold dust. So he gets a start, and all eyes will be on him, to be honest, because I think they need another big scrummaging tight head in the England squad. Beno Urbano's going to cover the loose head. Good to see him back fit again. Very strong, very dynamic. Maybe occasionally endurance has been a question mark for him, but if he's coming off the bench anyway, that's not going to be a problem. He could make an impact. Billy starting at 8. He's been playing really well for Saracens, actually. If he's back to his best, you know, then watch this space. We haven't quite seen the best of him recently. And then we've got Mark Wilson, ever reliable, always puts in a fantastic shift for England. He starts at 6, definitely balances out that back row, gives you line-out options, can cover all areas of the back row as well. So that's my pack. Into the backs. Crossdale still training with the England squad, which is fantastic for that young man. I don't think I'd play him in this match though. Daly, he'll be fit, he'll be fresh. All these Saracens guys will be. He starts at full-back. Then Tom de Glanville, very talented, could play almost anywhere in the back line. I think he gets his shot on the bench covering the back 3. Farrell's going to start at 12, being the only guy with any experience at 12 for England, and his mate George Ford inside him at 10. Willi Hines will cover the bench. I mean, I could go on about, you know, Willi Hines is a good player. Is he anywhere near Ben Spencer? No, but, you know, whatever. He gets a great chance. He's going to have to prove himself. I will start Ollie Lawrence at 13 because I think you need a bit of impact in this English back line. Very close for Joe Marchant, but I think Joe Marchant will cover a lot on the bench. But I want to see that impact, that power of Lawrence. You know, he's been on fire. But yeah, a toss-up really between him and Marchant to start. Marchant covering on the bench, covering the back 3 as well. Then Johnny May on one wing, Ollie Thorley on the other wing. I want to see Ollie Thorley really get stuck in, like his attitude. Mitchell misses out, but Ben Young starts at 9. So that's my England 23. Let me know what you think. A mix between the side that's going to play against Italy and also some youngsters. How many players are going to come into this side after the Barbarians match? Well, we'll see. You know, they're going to have to be very careful at rotating players, keeping players fresh all through this autumn because it's a heavy workload following the season and the European climax. So we will see. Anyway, let me know what you think of that team, and until next time, I will see you then.